David?
Here.
Steve is absent.
All right, we have a quorum. We'll proceed. Approval of minutes is next item, June 18th. I'll accept a motion for approval when you're ready.
Move to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve June 18th Park Board minutes. Is there any discussion, deletion, corrections? Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Barry?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
Shanda?
Yes.
David?
Yes. Okay, motion passes. Financial update, camping and oil revenue.
Hello, yep, in your packet, I have a spreadsheet I regularly make out. We're, camping revenue-wise, we're hitting all of our budget numbers already, with still here a couple, a good 6 weeks left of solid camping season to go. And I mean, I think it's outstanding. I give a lot of credit to our reservation system and the ease people can use it. And then looking ahead, I mean, I don't know, there's not too many opportunities at Little Egypt or Epping to get a site right now for the weekends in the next few weeks. It's people are planning ahead, and the word is out there, and they're getting booked, and our revenue is showing that. So as a whole, we've already passed our budget goal for all of our parks. We kind of adjusted a little bit. We initially, when we did the budget, over a year ago, we had thought that this year we would be starting on Blacktail, and we shifted that. So that's why if you look at our budget numbers, we had budgeted 24,000 for revenue for Blacktail, and in years past we've done 33,000, and you can see our gross for Blacktail, we're still almost to that $33,000 mark, and then and then on the other side of the coin there, Coda Ray, we had budgeted 6,000, and we brought in $815, and that's because we closed early. But the other campgrounds will make up for the revenue that Coda Ray didn't earn. I mean, I think the best part about it is people are using our campgrounds a lot, and I think that's what the numbers show, and that's the goal. So. Everything else, like I said, it's in there. And then as far as oil revenues, I know we haven't seen our June oil revenue was just over $4,000. We had to track that down a little bit, and finance helped me get that, but I didn't get it in time to put in here. And then we haven't seen our July check yet, but we're kind of trending towards that, right around that $4,000 range every month for oil revenues. So that's it for that. And then the next one, financial statement. The financial statement is included in your packet. If there's anything in particular you want to talk about, I can certainly discuss it. Otherwise, I think we're headed on the right path.
Okay, any questions for financials? All right, item D, community outreach.
I just want to mention a couple of things. This summer, we've been trying to promote I've been, and with Lindsay's help and Haley's help, trying to promote the parks, and I've been getting out there. We've had 3 events that I've gone to in the end of June. In Ray, they had an economic development picnic that economic development put on. They had a vendor booths. We went out there, and it was great because with Coda Ray being closed, and there are a lot of people in Ray that use Coda Ray, and whether it's for day use or everything, I talked to a lot of people about Coda Ray, what we were doing. Everybody had the same opinion. They wished it was open this summer, but they're excited about what's going to happen. So that was really good. And then that same week, that was on a Tuesday. That same week on Thursday, it was National Parks and Rec Week, and Williston Parks and Rec with their day camp program, which is a program they run at Spring Lake Park. They have, I don't know, well over 100 kids. I think we had 12 groups, each one with right around 10 or so kids. So anyways, we that week they had guests come in and kind of do something for the kids. So we went out there and we did we split all our groups up, and we had two different activities. We had a scavenger hunt, and we had that was really fun. And then we had a little fishing station, and we were letting all the kids go fishing. So we went out there, spent the day with the kids, and that was a really good. It was pretty much a full day. It was a really good day, but kids had fun. Everything went well. And then today, my other one I have is today at noon at the Arc. They do a program called Lunch and Learn, and it's for senior citizens. They provide some kind of food, and then they talk about what's going on. So I'm the speaker today. I worked with Jay Dunn, agreed to sponsor lunch, and they're actually going to more than sponsor. They're going to come up and they're going to cook lunch and serve lunch for everyone, a crew of their guys. And then I'm going to talk to the senior citizens and or whoever shows up, and we're going to just talk about what's going on with Coteray and Lookout, and then what the plan is moving for the rest of the parks. Talk about the concerts we have left, and then talk a little bit about Epping Springbrook water quality, and then just have a nice time with them. Get the word out. So kind of not that I don't do these things regularly. Just kind of been summer. Had a couple right in a row. Want to let you know what's going on. Yeah. So there is another one coming up in June. That economic development picnic they did in Ray, or excuse me, at the end of July. But I'm going to be out of town those days. I was planning on being there, but then it changed, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Otherwise, that's it. All I have for community outreach.
Okay, any questions for Jeremy? All right, master plan update.
First thing, I did mention to Bo for just a second there. Part of our contract, or part of our project at J.E. Dunn, is the bicycle playground, and we have a contract with American Ramp Company, and we had worked through it, gotten the contract to Karen, and she made the changes she'd like to see, and then we sent it on to American Ramp Company, and they wrote back with last night after I left the office, they had replied, and they said that they agreed to every change Karen made. Karen would still like to put eyes on it again. I kind of dropped it on her this morning, but basically the deal is it's to for them to come in, because they come in and they build it themselves. They don't just supply the products. So I'm looking to approve a contract with American Ramp Company pending Karen's review, to have them come and build our bicycle playground
Where's this located?
at Coteray. It'll be done later this summer.
Okay. Is there a motion for approval of that? Authorize the chairman to sign.
I'll make that a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Corey,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Shanda,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
All right, motion passes.
All right, first starting with Coteray Dam. They do have the entrances blocked off right now with some temporary fencing. They will be putting in posts and more permanent or stable fencing. Rather, right now it's just temporary. But that will be going in soon. The dirt work guys have all mobilized and shown up and started working. All the materials for the shower houses will arrive this week, and things will just start moving fast there. As soon as the dirt work guys are done at Coteray, they'll move up to Lookout Park, and then they'll start that, and then everything else will follow through. So Coteray might still be we'll go up to Lookout, and everything will follow through. Lookout still might be a month away from starting, but there's not a big project there, and once they go, they'll get that moving out fast. So yeah, it's moving fast, and it's exciting. It's like a long wait to get started, and now we started. Planning wise, we've begun our planning of Blacktail. Our goal is to have our final plan done by mid-December and get them into J.E. Dunn's hands before the first of the year, so they're able to put out the bid packages. We fully anticipate Blacktail Dam being a 2-year project. We know we're gonna have, we've already started talking about that. We know we're gonna have to come up with timelines and accessibility and what we're gonna close and what we're not gonna close. So we'll spend, you know, a lot of time here the next months working on Blacktail, and coming up with a really good plan. After, along with the planning for Blacktail, we also have started to talk about the rest of our schedule, and we haven't made a decision yet. But we're you know, for sure gonna start Blacktail in 25. The question is if, and we have, J.E. Dunn's gotta kind of make that decision if they feel comfortable starting a second park in 25 as well. You know, we've talked about it would be either McGregor or Epping Springbrook Dam. And we think McGregor's a kind of a lighter lift. We don't have as much into it. You know, Epping Springbrook Dam will be a big project. And I don't know. I'm assuming just because of that driveway going in. We're gonna redo that road, the drive coming in, and that's just gonna be a big project. But we're gonna work through that. So, you know, I'm hoping here in by the next board meeting, I'll be able to say, you know, this is our schedule. This is what we want to do for the remaining of the parks going out. But we just keep moving forward on it. I think that's all I have for master plan at this point.
Okay, any questions for master plan? All right, you got anything? Okay, parks update.
All right, starting with, I just want to first talk about our concerts. Our first concert was at Little Egypt. It was on June 28th. Elma Cook played down there. She's really talented. She was one of the finalists for the local artists or the state artists of the year for the state fair. I never did see how it turned out, but she was one of 3 people that was going to be finalists to be selected to play at the state fair. She's very talented. She brings talented musicians with her, and it's a little bit different than everybody else brings. She shows up with a guy that, or with an individual that'll play the saxophone and the flute and the cello and just really does a good job. To be quite honest, I was a little bit concerned about this concert. We had a really large youth church group kind of take over the park as far as renting it out. From Wednesday and then checking out Saturday morning. And then Elma played Saturday night. So it's kind of like the whole campground was gonna empty out on Friday. But the campground ended up getting booked out for Saturday, and we had a really good crowd for it. I was worried like it was gonna be me and Rhonda standing there watching them alone. Just because of the people moving out of the camp. Oh, and then the fair was going on. That was the other thing. It was the Saturday night of the Upper Missouri Valley Fair. So I was really worried about attendance, and we had a great crowd, and weather ended up being great. It was a really nice night. Our second concert was at Blacktail on the 4th of July. I'll tell you what, the concert started at 6:30, and at 4 o'clock, I thought we were canceling it. I really did. It was ugly. The band was sitting out there, and they didn't want to set up because it was raining. And I was on the road on my way there, and I just said, you guys are the professionals, decide whatever you want. And by the time I got there, they were set up and they said, we're playing. And ended up being a really nice night. We had a good crowd out there, and Josie and the Whalers always do a nice job. They're very professional. So everything went well there. And then our next.
Jeremy, can I just add that?
Yeah.
Your guys did a phenomenal job because it was mud. And they were pumping water out. They were getting things ready. It was pretty cool, and so I just wanted to say you guys did a heck of a job. It was fun to see, and the concert was awesome.
Yep, my guys did. They stepped up. They were there, ready to go, and just in general too. I did get a lot of compliments for how well the parks looked over the 4th of July, and that's really a credit to my crew, Carter, and the rest of the crew. They did a nice job making sure that all the parks look good on the 4th. And then our next concert coming up is this Friday at Epping Springbrook Dam. It's the Blue Stems. They're from southern southwest North Dakota. I can't think of what little town they're from, but they're a family group. They play bluegrass. The two sisters, they're probably, I'm guessing, about 19 and 17. And then there's two brothers that are, 13 and 15. And then they have two other little ones, a boy and a girl, I think it is. And they all play every instrument. They're super talented. They're fun. We've had them at Little Egypt before, but they're going to be at Epping this year. So that'll be this Friday night. And then we have a couple more concerts the rest of the year to move it out, but it's gone well so far. So then, parks update. I don't have a lot other. I do want to touch on Epping Springbrook Dam. We 3 weeks ago, I sent in. I do regular water samples once a week in the Soil Conservation District and Game and Fish do samples from a boat every 2 weeks. But they have just specific harmful algae bloom samples. And 4 weeks ago now, I sent those in. And then the week later, they put us under an advisory. The level was high enough of the chlorophyll that they put it under an advisory. And that's where we're still at now. And I still have sent in, since then I have sent in more HAB samples. They come back similar to what they were, which is a good sign because it had gotten warmer. And I was worried because they put the advisory right before it started getting warmer. So I was a little worried about that, but it has gotten warmer since then and we haven't seen a big uptick. And then I have been in communication with our person at LG Sonic, and they have been, as far as, I don't know, as far as, I can't make any determination as far as preventing or any of it, but as far as the monitoring part, those machines are right on. Like, right on with what our water samples we're sending to the state are. It was, like, after I got these samples back, or the results back, and I contacted him, I said, and I just kept it really open-ended, asking, what are you seeing from your end? And he same thing that we're seeing from turning our water samples in. He has talked about they've changed the strength and of the signal going through a couple times. They're monitoring it, they're watching it. He is asking that he's making a request that I go out there, go out there on a boat, and there's some lenses that need to be cleaned off routinely. It's actually pretty cool. They have windshield wipers, little windshield wipers on lenses, but they still say they sometimes need to be cleaned off. And he's recommending that because one of the three is kind of showing different results than the other two. And even though they're in different areas, you really have to think of a lake as one body of water, right? It's just because you see algae here and it looks bad here, and out here it looks blue, it doesn't mean that that's good, right? You have to it's all the same body of water. So he does say that's one weird thing he's seeing. There's one buoy that's reading differently than everything else, and he's wondering about that. But in their minds, from what I'm learning from them, is they think everything's working right. We're moving in the right direction. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know about the stopping it or inhibiting it, but I guess we'll just see. But they're other than the fact that the controller, the guy I talked to, other than the fact that he's in Europe, Northern Europe, I don't remember, Norway. I think he's Greek, but he's from like Norway. So I always have to, I always send him emails, and then at 2 a.m. he replies because that's when he gets to work in my time. So, but yeah, they're really, but I always get an email the next day, like at 2 a.m. So they do a great job replying and keeping me in touch anytime I ask a question. So, I'm still excited it's there. I'll tell you what, I was really, when they called me and told me there was advisory, I was really upset that day. I was just like, oh, what else can we do? But one day I got over it and moved on. Keep moving forward, I guess. So, otherwise, as far as the rest of the parks, everything's cooking along pretty good. Keeping them clean and keeping people out there. I got a good crew. And we're getting it done. It'll be a stretch here the next little bit. My crew does go on and have some vacations and different things they have, but I think Carter and I are here the whole time, so we'll kind of pick up my part-time crew slack. I guess I don't have anything outstanding about any other parks. If you guys have anything you want to comment on, I'd gladly talk about it.
A quick question on the results comparative to the history last year, the previous year, and so on and so forth. How much difference is there in the results tested, the water tests?
Well, I mean, right now, I mean, last year was a tough year, right? Because, I mean, this bacteria grows on heat and sun. And last year, remember, in late May and early June, we already hit 90s last year. It was a really warm summer, and so, I mean, we had full algae bloom by the first week of June. Was substantially better than last year. I think last year's a tough one to judge it against because of the weather. But going back the 2 years before, by after the 4th of July, we had a full bloom out there both of the 2 years before, and we haven't gotten there yet. Like I said, we're still under an advisory. We're not under, I think it's a warning warning is the level where you actually see it and they know it's there and they say, stay out of the water, at least keep your dogs and kids out.
Well, I
So
know
we're not there yet. Water quality, I would say, at least in my time here, for as late as we are in the year, this is the best water quality we've had.
and Blacktail's the same right now, looking
Blacktail
at
is
it.
the same.
Yeah.
Yep. And we've sent in tests for them too, and Blacktail's doing better than Epping right now, but we'll see. There was one other thing. I mentioned that I wasn't going to the economic development thing in Williston. At the end of this month, there's 2 days in Bismarck where it's they call it a coordinators meeting, and I'm the only parks guy. Most of them are soil conservation district people, but for the 319 grant where we provide funding for landowners to do best management practices for water quality. They have a controllers like educational meeting. Most of these people going there have been there for years, decades. It'll be my first time, but it'll be really good for me to go just to teach me, when we're going out to talk to landowners, what are the options we have? What can we provide? What can we do? So that's the end of this month. I'm attending that in Bismarck. I'm really excited. Like I said, it's another one of those things where something I've never dealt with before, and new thing to learn, and just to make that process of getting that 319 grant money for our landowners, just to make that easier. So I got that going at the end of the month, and like I said, otherwise, for anything else in the parks, I can comment on any questions, but I think we're doing okay.
Okay, anybody else have anything? I think we're at item G, next meeting, August 20th. And if nobody else has anything, we will adjourn this meeting at 9:08. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Hey, if you're hungry, J.E. Dunn's cooking burgers at noon at the Ark. Stop by.